Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're doing another character guide. And so today's character is Danny Lee Caton, the, I guess you could call him one of the main antagonists from the Moonshiner DLC in Red Dead Online. He's basically the enemy moonshiner. He makes the moonshine for the people that you're competing against in this DLC. So anyway, what we're going to do in this guide is pretty typical of character guides. We're going to do his weapons, so imitate his weapons, then his outfit, his hair and facial hair, and finally his facial creation. So we're going to go through the character creation process of making a character look like Danny Lee. So, if at any point during this video you find yourself enjoying it, please be sure to click that like button, as it is the easiest and quickest way to show me that the content I'm making is something you enjoy. Also, it helps the video out a lot in the algorithm. And of course, if you haven't already and you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel today and turn on the notification bell. It helps my channel grow and it helps you stay up to date on all of the content that I'm releasing here. So, with all that in mind, let's just dive on in and start it off with weapons. And so, for Danny Lee's weapons, they can't really get much simpler, because A, he's only got one of them, and B, it's a stock cattleman revolver. So what you're going to want to do is you take your cattleman revolver, make sure it's got the short barrel, but since we don't know what the sights and everything are, we can make it stat-wise as good as possible. We'll do the improved rifling and improved sights. Then we're going to do the ironwood grip, and on that grip we're going to put the mahogany varnish. We're not going to carve anything into the grip, and no engravings on the gun itself, and then of course it's just all iron. And so, iron barrel, cylinder, frame, hammer, sight, trigger, just to clarify. And that looks exactly like his gun, because like I said, he's just using a stock cattleman revolver. Plus, it's a pretty iconic look for the gun. I think it looks nice, you know, the old solid wood grip with the nice uniform silver look to the gun. It looks real nice. And so that is the only gun for Danny Lee, so we're going to move on right away over to his outfit. Alright, and so here we have the outfit in its entirety, and I think it turned out pretty dang good. So, as, you know, to be fair, several if not every single item that Danny Lee is wearing is a unique item that we don't have in the game. But I still think I was able to come up with an outfit that looks quite a bit like him. So let's just go ahead and scroll through all these items and I'll show you how to make this outfit. So for the hat, we're going to be starting off with the London Dairy hat, and we're going to be using this kind of darker brown variant. Now, this isn't perfect because his hat has a like white cloth band around it and not like a rope wrapped with, I don't know what that's supposed to be, teeth or nuts or something? I don't know. Other than that, the hat is pretty close. I mean, it curves up a little bit more than his does on the side, but his does tilt up a little bit because of the way he's wearing it. So I think this hat imitates the style of his hat very well. So to get the London Dairy hat, this is a collector's hat, okay? So if you want to unlock this, you need to have the collector roll and you need to level it up until the point where you unlock the London Dairy outfit, and then you need to purchase the one that has this colored hat. That may sound complicated, but trust me, it's really not that complicated because the collector roll levels up really, really fast and makes you a lot of money, so it's easy to buy the outfit. And that is the hat for him, and honestly, it's the only hat that I really like for this outfit. Other than this hat, if you're not willing to put in the time to get the London Dairy hat, there is one alternative that I guess works pretty well, and that is just the plain kind of dirty brown stalker hat. It doesn't look as good, and its shape is a little bit more wrong and everything. It works okay, and the outfit still looks pretty good with it, and it looks decently close to the one that he wears. So like I said, I think the London Dairy hat works better, but the stalker hat is a close alternative if you don't want to do the work to get the London Dairy hat. So that's the hat. Then for the neckwear, we're going to be using the red neckerchief, and now obviously it's not perfect because his neckerchief is like a dark burnt orange with light orange circles on it, so it's far more fancy looking and has a lot more character to it, but it's not something that we have, and so the closest we can come is this red neckerchief, which I think still looks pretty good. So for the vest, this one is the one that I think works the best, the 10th variant of the traditional vest. It's this sort of green and brown and orange checkered vest. I think it's the closest we can come to his, just color-wise and total outfit matching-wise, but there are a couple other alternatives, I guess. So this one isn't perfect because his, instead of being kind of an orange and brown and green, his is like a green and blue and dark brown. So it's slightly different, but like I said, I think this one matches the best. Alternatives to this, if you don't like the way this one looks, another alternative is this traditional vest. It's a little bit more towards the blue spectrum, but instead of having green, this one has red, so I don't think this one works as good, but you could do it if you prefer it. And then the other alternatives are these three Richfield vests. So you have this one here, the sort of dark yellow, brown, and blue. Then we've got this one that's all pink, and this one that's like teal and I don't know what to call that, dark red and regular red. So kind of Christmas colors. Out of those three vests, I think this first one probably works the best out of them, but I still think that the vest that I chose, the green one, works the best for this one. So all of those vests work. None of them are perfect, but all of them come decently close. For the shirt, I chose to go with the light blue everyday shirt. So on him, he's wearing what looks a lot like this, and it has this style of collar, but it's got white cuffs and a white collar. And I thought I remembered a shirt that looked like that in this game, but I couldn't find it when I was making this outfit. So I just went with this one because it's got the right shade of blue, and then of course I rolled the sleeves up. His collar is also open, but unfortunately you can either have the neckerchief or the collar open, not both. So that's going to be a choice that you have to make. I think the neckerchief is essential for the outfit, so that's why I kept it. Other than that, there's a French dress shirt that is blue and has a white collar that could work, but the problem is since you have to have it closed for the neckerchief, it makes the collar look wrong for his outfit. So yeah, like I said, I think the 24th variant of the everyday shirt is the best option for his shirt. Then for the weapon equipment, there's basically two choices. Both of them are the gunslinger gun belt. I went with this lighter one because I think it matches the color of his a little bit better, and also because it contrasts against the outfit a little bit better, so that's why I went with this one. Otherwise, the plain brown gunslinger gun belt is another good option. It looks good with the outfit, and it looks a lot like his too. I would say the color of the gun belt he's using is somewhere between this one and the one I chose, but it does look like this. Other than that, it doesn't seem to have any bullet loops on it, and it looks real plain, and it's a thicker belt. So that's the weapon equipment for Danny Lee. Then for pants, we're going to be using the sort of wore out black padded saddle work pants. I think these are the best option because his appear to be a little bit more worn out, and I think they might even be saddle pants, so they have the padding on the back. So I think these pants work the best. If you don't want to use these, or you don't like the more dirty look or whatever, maybe you went with the Richfield vest, so you want the outfit to look a little bit fancier, then the next best option is this. So the clean black clerk pants also work. They're a little bit cleaner, so if you're trying to go for a more well-dressed Danny Lee, and like I said, you went with one of those Richfield vests, then I guess these pants would work better, but I like the padded saddle work pants better. Then lastly, for footwear, we're going to use the stovepipe square-toed boots, and the first variant, this sort of wore-out black variant, is the ones that I think look the most like the ones he's wearing. And of course, we're going to tuck those into the pants because that's the way he wears them. And when you put it all together, there you have Danny Lee. And like I said, it's not perfect because every one of the items that Danny Lee is wearing is a unique item that we don't have. I think it comes pretty dang close, and I think that, like, walking down the street, I think people might recognize that this is supposed to be Danny Lee. So that is the full outfit. Like I said, comparing it side by side, I think it looks pretty decent. Now we're going to go to hair and facial hair, and then we'll move on to the facial customization. So for the hair, you have basically two choices, and well, I mean, really only one, because unfortunately the hairstyles in this game are severely limited, but the short curly afro I think is the closest we can come, and either this color I chose, the fifth one, so it's like the salt and pepper one, it's a little bit too much salt. I wish it had a little bit more pepper, a little bit less salt, because his is kind of grayish, but not this gray. But anyway, so you have this choice or just the plain black. Both of them look decent. His hair does appear to be a little bit more grayish because he is a little older, so that's why I went with the salt and pepper, but it's really up to you. Then for facial hair, we have two choices. So you have the archway facial hair, which I chose. I think it looks a little bit more like his. It's not perfect, but I think it's closer. And of course, we're doing the plain black color, so the 9th variant. And the other option is just the walrus, so this one again in black. His mustache again is somewhere in between these. It's longer and bushier, and it goes down further on the sides, but it doesn't hang down in front of the lips as much as the archway does. So that's really personal choice, whichever one you think looks better between the walrus and the archway. And then I did choose to include stubble. I think it looks fine either way, but I think it looks a little bit better with the stubble. So that's all for hair and facial hair. Let's move on to facial customization. And so here we have the appearance. So you can see for heritage, I went with the 17th variant. I did the darkest of the skin tones for that one. I made him 50 years old. Went with athletic because skinny was a little bit too small, but average is a little bit too big. Then I did the darkest brown eye color, and I went with the plucked eyebrows. So now I'm just going to go through all the sliders. I'll give you a little bit of time for each one. So if you're trying to imitate this, you can go along. Of course, if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video, or of course, go into the settings and turn down the playback speed. But let's just get to it and show you all those sliders. And so there you have Danny Lee. Like I said, I think it turned out pretty dang good. Looks quite a bit like him. Hair and facial hair are up for debate. But what are you going to do? I'm not super great at the character customization, but I think I'm getting better at it. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.